I had to start with a smile. That's what I do. I smile a lot. And it's okay. You should smile a lot. Smiling is better than frowning. No, I said frowning. Frowning give you less wrinkles on your face when you smile more. Even though I got smile marks, whatever. Happy motivational Monday. Happy day after Christmas. Hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. All of that. Because I won't be on my live before the new year is here. So actually that first Monday of the year I'll be on my live. So definitely tap in with me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Toria Howard. I am originally from Detroit, Michigan. So what up, though, to all my Detroit people? And now I'm residing in Memphis, Tennessee. And I am all things real estate, commercial, residential, investor. I do credit restoration, financial literacy, and I do business and commercial funding. So I wear a lot of hats, but the first hat that I wear is, of course, being a mom. And I love that, being a mom. Hopefully everybody had, their children were happy at Christmas, and everybody was, did what they needed to do. Now, one thing that my dad did for my daughter, he didn't give her a tangible gift this year. He ended up getting her a new life insurance policy, which will actually, when she turns 18, will afford her $70,000 worth policy worth. Um, it'll be worth $70,000 when she turns 18. So she's gonna have a good start to life. Not like, he was like, my father was like, I wish I would have did this when you were younger. I was like, you're doing it for my baby. So anything you do for her, you're doing for me. And I appreciate every single help. So sometimes it's not about the tangible gifts. And, she was upset at first, but when I told her what it was, she said, oh, okay. She was okay with it. So, sometimes it's not about the tangible gifts that they're going to forget about. What about the lasting gifts? You know, college funds, properties, LLCs, buying them stocks and investments. Those type of things last a lifetime rather than buying tangible gifts all the time. So, just something to think about. I'm no expert in it, still learning about it, but I thought that was a really good gesture for him to set her up like that. And plus, he's doing other types of investments for her. Who am I to judge? So, you know, and I appreciate and I appreciate everything and all the help her grandparents give her, my mother and her aunt as well. So I really appreciate them always looking out for Zaria, which is my daughter, and always putting her best interests at heart. So that's what I was happy about in this Christmas season. It's not all about me getting gifts anymore. I get gifts throughout the year, so that doesn't matter to me. But the gift of knowing that my daughter is set up, that warmed my heart. She's set up in a way that will help us be able to set her up even more. So we not started from the bottom. She just still got some. She has something to look forward to because she's talking about going to FIT, and that's in Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. So shout out to them. And this out of state tuition. Who live in New York? So we use the address. I'm moving there 2020. When she graduated 2020, I'm moving there 2028. I'm just kidding, but still, all in all, setting your children up for success, letting them have a foundation, and they don't have to. Everybody don't have to get it out the mud if you have it. So that was a good thing for me. So I would love it if you drop a one in the chat, or in the comments, I should say. If you're watching this live, drop a two. If you're new to my live, and drop a three if you're watching a replay, and I really appreciate it. So talking about, so on this Motivational Monday, it's the last Monday of 2022. I mean, can you say that? Can you understand? Let that sink in. This is the last Monday of 2022. Let that sink in. So what are you doing to prepare yourself for 2023? This week should be a good week of reflection. I know a lot of people wait to the first and do all of that, but what are your goals that you're setting for 2023 right now? I actually did my 7 day calendar, or actually I did 5 of the 7 days. Like I'm gonna finish. I forgot about Saturday and Sunday. Like you gotta plan those days too. So I'm gonna finish that. But I'm doing a 7 day calendar where I'm going to be doing the same thing every single that day because I do multiple things. I'm in real estate, I'm in, financial literacy. So I have to dedicate days to those particular industries. And I've learned from myself and my self reflection that me trying to incorporate everything in every single day does not work for me because I end up leaning towards one thing in the first place. So why not just designate days and put myself on a more organized schedule and just focus on one thing at a time, one thing, one industry a day. So that is the plan. I put my plan in place. Like I said, I got to finish the last 2 days because I guess I was just going willy nilly Saturday and Sunday. No, I cannot. I had to do a 7 day calendar, so I had to finish those 2 days. I also am going to write down some affirmations for 2023. I don't know if I'm going to get to it tonight but I'm definitely going to do it by tomorrow. And, it's the last Monday of 2022. Means the start of a new season, a new beginning. Are you ready for a new beginning? Sometimes when things end, right, we think of it as a tragic loss, but it could be the beginning of something new, right? So, what is last? I always break my words into acronyms. So, leaders activate smart tenacity. Hi, Trini to the bone. So I always put it as an acronym: leaders activate smart tenacity. So what does tenacity mean? Perseverance. Perseverance through any and everything. Because if you are going through this life, especially as an adult, you're going to have to persevere through a lot of things: loss, tribulations, trials, valleys, mountains, all of the above that you can think of. You're going to go through, right? But in order to come through the other side, you have to persevere. So, because I am a spiritual person, I always relate it back to a scripture, which is Romans 5:3. And not only that, but we also glory in tribulation, knowing that tribulations produce perseverance. We don't glory in the tribulations because what we do is, I'm putting me in there because I'm included in this. What we do is we wallow in the sorrow of the tribulation. We make it worse, right? We tend to, have pity parties and say negative things and feel bad, and a lot of the self-destructing talk comes out of this, right? But there's nothing wrong with crying, being angry. Please express your emotions and don't hold it in. But it's all in your response in the situation. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it probably hurt. I mean, sometimes it hurts you to the core when you lose something, a situation or a person, and you really love that thing, that situation, or that person. It can hurt you down in your core, deep down, and it's hard to get over. And a lot of people just be like, well, just get over it, get over it, get over it. You got to get over it, get over it, get over it. But it's hard to get over something that was tied to you in a different way, in a sense where, you know, you felt a security in that thing. You felt safe, in it. You felt like you had a confidant in that situation. You felt like, you know, you, you fought for it, especially in things like jobs and certain material things. And when you lose it, you know what I'm saying, it can be detrimental to you. But what is your response? Is it to let it eat you up and continue with the self-destructing talk, the limited beliefs because of that situation? Because a lot of people don't want to find love anymore because they've been hurt time after time after time. But you have to really dig deep and search down as to why am I continuing getting hurt by people. And A lot of times it's because we haven't dealt with the deep down tragic, traumas that are deep down inside of us that we haven't dealt with. And we perpetuate it on other people and we attract that same energy and we bring the same people towards us that hurt us, right? So it's all about when you get out of a situation, you have to give yourself a grieving period, they say. And it's not because of somebody has passed away, anything that has been taken from you, you have lost, whatever it is that you don't have it anymore, it's still a grieving period. And you have to give yourself a chance to grieve. But during that grieving period is where the perseverance comes through. The perseverance comes through from, knowing that you have to get those emotions out. You have to, cry. You have to get that anger out. You might have to even go and talk to someone. Don't be afraid to go and talk to a counselor or whomever, whatever the case may be, because of the fact that I thought I was live on my Facebook and I've been talking the whole time and I have not been. But it's live now. And we gonna roll with it. So I swear I pushed it, but I've been talking, talking, talking. But anyway, you know, perseverance come through those tribulations, those trials. But knowing that you're going to come out of it is the thing. A lot of people feel like when they are in situations that they're not gonna, it's not gonna be different. They can't turn it around. They can't do anything about it. It's gonna be this to this to this, and it can turn around if you believe it'll turn around if you put forth the effort to turn it around. So whoever it is that you pray to, whatever you do to meditate, to center yourself, to get your emotions out, if you like journaling, if you like doing whatever, you have to express those emotions, get it out, talking to somebody. Maybe you have a confidant or somebody that you trust that will help you get through it, right? So, you know, do that. Do all that you can to get through it, but knowing that you can get through it is the thing. A lot of people go through situations and they feel like they can't get through it because they have these goggles on that this, my trial tribulation goggles where I only can see my situation right now. But you got to think about the solutions in that situation. Deal with your emotions, definitely do that, but also deal with the solution. How can I better myself, my situation, this circumstance now? What can I do better? What can I do in my next relationship? What can I do on my next job? Can I do in all those different scenarios? Because it's always something that we could have done better. And we have to reflect on those things. It's all about self-awareness. And it's all about not self-sabotaging and pushing through and persevering, right? So that's what I said last. The last doesn't mean over. The last is something that could be a start of something new, a new beginning. So you have to think of something that's ending. Like this is the last day, the last Monday in 2022. Can't think of it as you can't think of it as the end. Yes, the end of 2022, but you have been afforded the time to be able to be here to say this is the last of 2022. You have been afforded the time to say I'm here to be able to see another, year, God says so. So you have to be grateful in that. I know I was reading through my timeline on during Christmas, and it's a lot of people that was just like they're depressed, they're sad, and the thing is, I understand like the holidays can be hard for a lot of people, especially if you lost loved ones, especially if you lost parents and siblings and different people like that, because you know it's hard, right? I haven't, God forbid, thank you, I haven't lost my parents. um my parents are still here. My dad would be 80 years old in 2023. And my mother is a ripe 74. And she'll be 75. And she is thriving. She's doing better than she was when she was in Memphis, unfortunately. But it was still sad not to be able to be around my parents because my dad lives in Virginia, my mom's back in Detroit, I'm here in Memphis. But I still have them, I can call them. But those people that don't have those close relatives around them, or people that just feel like they're just alone, that's what I'm saying, they're not persevering through their situation. And I know it's hard, but you have to deal with your emotions. A lot of people don't properly go through the grieving process to be able to, and I'm talking about grieving through any and everything that you lose. It's not just people, loss of a job, loss of a friendship, loss of a relationship. You have to go through that grieving period. You have to give yourself the opportunity to feel those feelings, but also reflect on what happened in that process to get you to where you are, where you lost. Because it's always something that we could have done better. It's always something we can do. And I'm not saying like play the blame game, but a lot of times us doing something better is choosing the right situation and the right people. That's a self-reflection that you can have during a situation where it's something that you lost. A lot of times it wasn't meant for you to have that person. They was only there for a season. It wasn't meant for you to have that job at that time because it's not the path that God wanted you to go on, or the path, your purpose. So you have to allow yourself to go through the grieving period, the sadness, the anger, the blaming, but you also have to be self-reflective. Also have to be self-reflective in the fact that there is something different that you could have done. Maybe you could have made better choices. A lot of times we have a lot of these things that happen to us because of the choices we make. I know I've made a lot of bad decisions financially. I mean, anything. I've made a lot of bad decisions myself. So I'm talking to myself. Sometimes you have to reflect on why you keep making it's the same decision in different situations. Like I had a bad relationship with money, a spender, always spending. Now, I know that that's not a way that you're supposed to live. You cannot live off 100% of your income. If you can, it's good to live off 70% and, give, invest, and save the 30%. Or if you can't do 70, it's good to do the 80-20, where you live off of 80, you give 10, and you save 10 or invest 10, however you want to do, because savings and investing can be one and the same. So you have to understand and build up that perseverance by being reflective, being self-aware. So, like I said, I'm spiritual, so I got another scripture. So it says, "The man begins to prosper and continue prospering until he became very prosperous." So this is a story of Isaac. Okay, when he first brought Sarah to Pharaoh, and they was going to, they was liking her because she was fine, and they found out that was his wife, and the king, he told him why he did it because he was afraid that somebody would kill him for his wife. And then the king blessed him and said, nobody mess with him. And he ended up sowing into that land, and he began to be prosperous and continue to be to prosper because he sold into that land where he was supposed to be. A lot of us don't know where we're supposed to be, or haven't dig down deep enough to figure out where we're supposed to be, right? A lot of times we're not in blessed situations because we're not in the situation where we can be blessed. So I know, right? Saving. And sometimes it's time for you to move. Sometimes it's time for you to move away from your comfort zone. Sometimes it's good to move away from a city. Sometimes it's good to move, away from certain people. Sometimes it's good to, switch up your roles at work or job or whatever it is. Just understand that you're going to be prosperous wherever you are. Hi, Rachel. I'm originally from Michigan as well. I'm from Detroit. Yeah, my Christmas was awesome. Hopefully yours was too. Merry Christmas to everybody. So, there's another reflective point. Can you be prosperous where you are? Or have you got that gut feeling that it's time for you to move or do something different? Is it time for you to move away from certain situations, certain people, a career? It's time for you to do what you're supposed to do in the first place, what you really, really love to do? Merry Christmas, Nikki. So it's that sometimes we block our own prosperity by not being in position to be prosperous because we're not where we're supposed to be. So are you blocking yourself from being prosperous because you're not where you're supposed to be? Are you turning around, or I shouldn't say turning around, are you turning away from where you know you should move, where you know you should go, what you feel in your gut? And I've been reading this book called, well, listening to it, I'm gonna be real, called The Mountain Is You. And they said that your gut and your brain are attached. And anytime, yes, definitely don't block your own prosperity. When anytime you had, they say, hey, you had that gut feeling. A lot of people don't follow their gut. A lot of people do. It's your instincts, right? They said that your gut is the one that makes the decisions, not your brain. It's whatever you feel on with what you feel deep down inside, right? So that's the thing. A lot of people don't trust that feeling because they are fearful of their own decisions. Because you have made so many wrong decisions, you don't trust that gut feeling anymore. You don't trust those instincts anymore because you failed so many times. You're not in the, you talk yourself out of certain things and you forget to trust yourself in order to move. And I found that very interesting that your gut and your brain are attached, and how your gut is what you really, really need to be paying attention to. And it's not a psychic thing, like they were saying in the book. It's not a psychic thing. It's more or less like when you're in the situation, it's not going to predict the future or anything like that. Was when you're in a situation and you have that feeling and you hear that voice and you don't do nothing about it, you end up being in a position where you're stuck. You end up being in a position where you're not prospering or you're not going for what's all for you. That's what I got from it. That's my interpretation. I'm an analytical person. I was an English teacher for 15 years, so I dive a little bit deeper. But, you know, that's what it is. Like when you don't trust yourself, you're blocking yourself from your prosperity. You're blocking yourself from your destiny, your purpose, or wherever it is that you're supposed to go. Because a lot of times, I can say that a lot of times we don't trust ourselves because of the decisions that we've made. But a lot of times, the decisions that we've made have not been from a place of trusting your gut or going with your heart, or we overthink things, or we haven't consulted the right person. Some it's God for me. I've done situations where, I haven't consulted God and I just did it. And then I end up in a situation like, oh, wow, here I am. This is what I did. And you can't blame it on nobody else but yourself. You can't blame the devil. You can't do bad things do happen. And I'm not saying the devil is not real, but sometimes we inflict our own wounds by making wrong choices because we don't consult the right people or the right individual, or we don't trust ourselves. Because I'm going to put it out there, whatever you pray to or meditate to, whatever you feel is your spiritual being, if it's yourself, fine, whatever, that means you don't trust yourself either. But consulting with God, consulting with yourself, and then making the move, and a lot of times we get stuck in this analysis paralysis where we overthink. I know I do it all the time. I'm an overthinker because of the decisions that I've made in the past. I'm like, man, I cannot just make a hasty decision. But sometimes it's a decision that needs to be made, but you just can't make it, right? So because you're over analyzing it. I know I do that a lot. So what are we talking about? Last Monday in 2022 means the start of a new season. So what is last? Leaders activate smart tenacity. What is tenacity? Perseverance. You have to persevere. You have to be a leader of your life. You have to be a leader of your life in order to make smart moves and smart, decisions. So the last scripture I'm going to give you is Romans 12:12. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing steadfastly in prayer. Sometimes, and I'm talking, look, I'm an impatient person. Okay. I am not a very patient person. So this is me calling the pot calling the kettle black. You have to be patient in your tribulations sometimes. Sometimes you have to sit there and be in it for a minute, because not because you've done something wrong. I think that's a lot of times of what we do. We be like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Sometimes it's just meant for you to sit in something or be in something to get you to learn the lessons for your next level. And I know that's hard to do, and it's probably cliche, and people say it all the time. But that's what you have to think of it as, because the rain does stop. It doesn't just rain all the time. And if you feel that your rain is not going to stop, then it's never going to stop. So we have to understand that sometimes the last of something or even someone is the start to something new. I always think of a new beginning. I know a lot of people, stay in situations. I know a lot of, I have single friends and I have married friends. And, my single friends, like, it's nothing out here. It's nothing out here. It's nothing out here. And you continue to say that it's not going to be nothing out here. So, it's all about the circles in which you are associating yourself with and who you are putting yourself out there to. So, if I was a single girl, out here in the streets, if I wanted to meet a particular type of man, most likely I wouldn't go to the club looking for him. That's for like when you were in your teens and 20s. I'm 41. So if I'm looking for a particular man or individual, that means I'm going to be looking in places where I figured that particular man or individual would be, you know, places that either is generating income or talking about generating income, or some place of professional status, NAACP something, volunteering somewhere at all these sororities and fraternities that be doing stuff, you know, all these associations and things that you can networking associations and these different special events that happen around your city, because I do events for Memphis, and it be things that don't be blasted out there a lot that could help you, find that mate if you are if you are of a particular age and you are looking for a certain individual. So it's not there's nothing out there, but it's where are you putting yourself in the place? Where are you setting yourself up? Where are you positioning yourself? Are you positioning yourself for a man that you have been praying for? Or a woman that you've been praying for? Or are you still going to the same places that you were before looking for this particular woman that's not in this place, or this particular man that's not in this place? So you can't say there's nothing out there when you only try one thing, which is whatever it is that you've been doing. Because my mom told me a long time ago, and me and my friend was talking about this the other day. My mom used to always tell us, like, you're looking for a professional man, you go to where they are. They go to the doctors associations, whatever, the lawyer, whatever's the network. She told us this back when we were teenagers, and we, oh man, well, you don't know what you're talking about, whatever. But you put yourself in it's just, I'm just using that analogy, but you put yourself in a position for the things that you want by being in the right place where you're supposed to be. That's just what it is. And a lot of times we can't let go of something because of the fact that we're afraid for it to end, because we don't know what the next is going to be. When in all actuality, your next could be your breakthrough, that you are stagnating. You could be holding your breakthrough back by holding on to things that you know deep down is at an end. We're at the end of 2022. Are you going to bring the same things from 2022 into 2023, or are you going to leave it in 2022? That's the thing. A lot of people are going to take the same attitudes, the same work ethic into 2023, and it's going to be the same result, unfortunately. It is what it is. So we have to accept sometimes things that end could be what is best for us. And I know it's hard to even fathom that because sometimes we just don't want things to end. But sometimes we're forced out of situations because we didn't make the move in the first place. I was basically forced out of teaching in a sense because that wasn't where I was supposed to be. And when I tried to retreat back, guess what? That door was closed. The door was closed. And not because of anything that I did, because I went down to HR and looked at my file. Wasn't nothing in there. But it's just not where God want me to be. It's not what God want me to do. I can make a better impact doing the things that I'm doing and still reaching back and getting those children that need that help, because that's what I plan on doing. So through financial literacy, through real estate, my nonprofit is going to spin out of this so that I can go back and reach those children that I know need that help, that need that exposure. Because that's was a lot of things that are happening in our community is our children don't have enough exposure to other things other than what they put in front of them. And I'm not going to get into all of that. Not going to get into all of that, but because I'll say that for another day. But I already ruffled some feathers, in the educational realm already. So I'm not gonna ruffle none tonight. We're gonna leave it alone. But like I said, this the last Monday of 2022 means the start of a new season. Are you ready for your new season? Are you gonna leave that old stuff in 2022 and be reflective? Use this week to be reflective of what happened in 2022 and figure out what you need to do better, right? So what is the last? Leaders activate smart tenacity. Tenacity meaning to persevere. A lot of people have persevered through this year. It's been a hard year. It's been a hard year for me. It's been a hard year for a lot of people. So, showing that tenacity and persevering through it all. 2023, the Jordan year. Look, I'm a sports girl. Even though, look, I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. But I do recognize Jordan, okay? But, it's the Jordan year, it's 2023. If you think about his work ethic, if you know about his man's work ethic, he was a diehard. He worked hard after Detroit beat up on him all them years. He said he ain't having it no more. So he took what he learned from those previous years and put it into his game, and he became the greatest of all time. Arguably, per se. As some people say. So, how do you become the GOAT in your own situation? By taking all those things that beat you up, reflecting on those things that you need to do better, and what is the solution to get to your next? Trust your gut. Don't wait too long to make decisions. Don't stay in things too long. Sometimes the end can be the beginning. And we're at the end, which will bring new beginnings. That's what it's supposed to do. Leaving 2022 and 2022 and bringing a new vibrance, a new attitude, a new you into 2023. And now I'm not talking about, all these, these, what you call those, New Year's resolutions. I'm not talking about that because resolutions don't last. Resolutions end up leaving once January is over. I'm talking about real life improvements that you need to make in order to better your inner, Your mind, body, and spirit from the inside out. What is it that you need to stop, start? Was it stop, start, and continue? Like I used to tell us as a teacher, figure that thing out. I'm going to do that. What do I need to start in 2022? What do I need to stop? Well, I should say for 2023. What I need to start for 2023, what I need to leave in 2022, and what I need to continue. Because it's not all bad things. We're not all bad. But you have to recognize real. You have to recognize the person in the mirror. And a lot of times we don't hold our own self accountable. Ourselves in our own selves. Bad choice of words. Ourselves accountable for the actions and the things that happen in our lives. Maybe that's the first thing that you have to do. Take accountability. Start with accountability of your own actions, because a lot of times the things that's happening to us is self-inflicted. I know I've done a lot of self-inflicting things to myself over the years and in 2022. So, just understand that it can, but just be reflective. Write it down. What should you start in 2023 that will make your mind, body, and spirit better? You got to start with you first. A lot of people start with the tangible items, like the things that we want. Excuse me, like the things, I want a car, I want a house. No. Start with your inner being. What is your mindset have to change? What is it in your spirit that needs to change? Start, stop, and continue, right? I just came up with that because I need to use it for myself. Go back to those old teaching principles. What do you need to start for 2023? That's some homework assignment. What do you need? Write it down and then share it with me. Share with me what you want to start for 2023, what you want to leave or stop and leave it in 2022, and what you want to continue in 2023. Because it's not all bad. It's not all bad, but make sure that you're all good. And it's not going to be perfection. Stop searching for perfection. That is a ploy for procrastination. Trust me, I know. I always want something to be perfect, to be perfect, to be perfect, and I end up not getting done. So stop using perfection as an excuse. Implement determination, consistency, and tenacity, because it's going to be some hard times. So what are you going to start, stop, and continue? What you going to start in 2023? Let's go better to enter you. What you going to stop in 2023 and leave it in 2022? And then what you going to continue? I think that's a good homework assignment. And I'm going to do it myself. So I bid you adieu. I'll be back tomorrow for Real Estate Tuesday, because that's what I do. Real estate on Tuesday. I am a realtor here in Memphis, Tennessee. If you need any of my services, you can check me out. You can stalk me. You can go to my bio on my Instagram and click my link, and you'll see all my links there. You can go to this live here and click on my link for Facebook, and then on my YouTube, it is I know, always a teacher, and forever be. I think that was my purpose in the first place. And in my YouTube, it'll be on in the comment section. So, like I said, if you need any of my services, anybody need any of my services, I would love to help. I would love to, you can spread that link around because I really, really want people to understand that right now is the best time to get your finances in order to be ready for 2023. It's the best time because the interest rates are going to drop. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow. And then, coming into the new year, I'm going to be coming on every day at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So look out for that. I said I'm going to be more consistent. Yes, definitely a budget. I'm going to be more consistent with my time so people will know when to find me. So starting January 2nd, 2020, I'm going to say 2024, Lord, 2023, 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, I'll be going live. I put it in my 7 day, well, my 5 day calendar, which will be my 7 day calendar. And that's another thing. Make you a 7 day calendar. What you going to do every day? Because if you are, I know it's probably not that easy for people to have a 9 to 5. Maybe it is because you do the same thing every day. But if you're an entrepreneur like me and you have multiple facets of your business and it's just you, it's always good to break it down into days. For me, that's what worked for me. Because when I tried to incorporate everything in one day, it didn't work for me. So I had to break it down where I worked on real estate. Mondays will be my education day. Tuesday will be all real estate. Wednesday will be financial literacy, whatever I need to do for that. Thursday will be my content day. I'm just shooting videos and doing that for the next week. And I'm also starting a podcast, so I got to get ready for that. And then Friday would be my follow-up day. Now, I haven't put appointments in there. Those will get squeezed in when they can, but I'm still going to follow that regimen every single day so I can be more consistent. All right? And get some systems in place. That's part of getting my systems and being organized and having systems are two ways to stop self-sabotaging too. So, like I said, I bid you adieu, and I'll see you tomorrow on Real Estate Tuesday. Bye.